All right. What is up, y'all? Sound a little dead. I get it. I'm last, but come on. How y'all doing? Good to hear. Good to hear. So, real quick, what's everybody's name? We'll start right here.
Abu Sobo.
Abu Sobo?
You just call me Abdul.
No, come on. Say what you said first, though.
Abu Sobo.
Abdul Sobo?
Sobo.
Sobo?
Accent. It's accent.
Abu Sobo? All right, we were Abdul. Okay, we'll just go back to that. What's your name?
Anaya.
Anaya.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. That's dope. That's dope.
Isaac.
Isaac.
Rashaylee.
Rashaylee. Nice to meet you. I'm Mario. I also go by DJ Hollywood. That's who I tell people to call me Hollywood because that's who pays the bills. So, yeah, I'm super glad to be here with y'all today and kind of give my take on entrepreneurship. How old is everyone, real quick?
15.
14.
17.
All right, cool. Oh, so you basically like the OG of the group, basically, huh? But that's dope. You guys are in a very important, portion or path or however you want to say. You're at a very important point in your life where you can you have big decisions to make that can change your life literally forever. And I'd say to not take any of that for granted, and to embrace just learning new things and taking on the journey of whether you do become an entrepreneur. First and foremost, I'll say it's not for everyone. But whether you do become an entrepreneur or you're in a business of working with or for someone, I think that you guys should still be able to kind of grasp the concept of making your own money. But like I said, it's not for everybody. But what I'm gonna do first is roll this over here because I got some 3 things. Oh, move your chair, Jess. This is Jess, my partner, and one of my my nonprofit work that I do. It's my guy Antoine in the back. Antoine behind the camera. Shout out to the shooter. And it says more music less violence because it's like he's shooting, but it's not like it's like positive shooting, So here we go. My name is DJ Hollywood. However, I do not spell my name like this. All right, we're gonna mark that out real quick. This is how I spell my name, right here. Because I'm very big on branding, all right? And I don't spell it with the O's because if you Google DJ Hollywood with the 2 O's, you're probably gonna find 1,000 people. So that was the first thing that I, kind of realized that I had to stand out. That's good. Yeah, that's probably gonna play last anyways. So now, to give you guys a backstory, all right? I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Played sports my whole entire life. And football, basketball, and volleyball, because people, some people want to know. So I played sports my whole entire life. Basically, coming out of high school, I had to make a decision on what did I want to do next with my life. So I knew I wanted to play sports, but I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go, literally, like location-wise or, job-wise, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I said, it is what it is, and I came out to Hudson Valley, which is in Troy. Super dope school. I highly recommend if you guys are still thinking what you want to do next. Check out a community college if you don't want to dive right into a 4-year school. But yeah, went to Hudson Valley, did individual studies because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Did my thing there, loved it, kind of hated it. But long story short, I ended up getting cut from the football team, and that was the first time I ever got cut in my life. And at that point, I had to decide what do I want to basically do with the rest of my life at that point. So I ended up saying that I wanted to stay to finish my degree at Hudson Valley. So it's a 2-year school. I literally took 6 years to get out of there. And that's because, just losing focus, enjoying college as a young person and, kind of just doing whatever you want to do. But I made that decision that I wanted to stay and, I wasn't going to go back to Brooklyn until I got my degree. So years later, I actually have 2 degrees now, and I still never went back to Brooklyn. I always visit now and then, but I knew that I wanted to basically start my journey of becoming an adult, out here. So I ended up going to UAlbany, and then I majored in communications at UAlbany. And from UAlbany, I ended up getting on the school's radio station. And from getting on the school's radio station, I ended up realizing, okay, well, I really love doing this. And, I kind of wanted to take the journey of, music and really take it serious. So that's my first thing to you guys. It's basically going to be the 3 P's, all right? So your passion, all right? And that's one thing that I'm super big about. What are you passionate about? That's something that is very, very important to me. What do you really, really love doing? What could you wake up for the rest of your life and you're like, all right, I got to do this. A lot of people, and we're talking about entrepreneurship, so I'm gonna be super transparent. A lot of people, when you go to corporate work, you're like, oh my gosh, like I got to go back to work. And entrepreneur life, I can wake up whenever I want, but that's also the downside because I can wake up whenever I want. It's a positive and a downside because I can do nothing all day and make no money, or I can do a bunch of stuff to make me money. But moral of the story is you basically have to generate and put in your own time and basically put in your own groundwork to make money, right? It's not like a corporate job where you clock in basically 9 to 5 and you're getting that check every 2 weeks. Sometimes with entrepreneurship it gets scary because you're like, dang, I didn't get any bookings, whatever it is. I didn't get any bookings this month, and that's because there's things called like a slow season as well. So like around the holidays for entrepreneurs, it's very hard because everybody's spending money on everything else. So it's very hard to pitch and try to get your service booked because you have Thanksgiving, which you're spending money and people are traveling. You have Christmas, and then right behind Christmas is New Year's Eve. So between those 3 things, people are kind of spending their money elsewhere versus kind of, I guess, trying to pay people to do stuff. It makes sense? So now from passion, all right? What's something that you really, really, really love doing? And what's something that there's a word called flow, right? What is, if you had to guess what flow means, somebody, you don't gotta raise your hand, just shout it out. What do you think flow means?
Extreme focus.
Okay, close, very close. So yes, extreme focus, but also something that, for example, you're playing video games and like your parent comes and you're like, yo, you've been playing video games for like 5 hours and you don't realize, yo, I really been like playing 2K or like Call of Duty for so long because you're in that flow of the game, right? Make sense? So that's kind of like the same thing with entrepreneurship. Find something that once you get into the flow of it, that it's natural and you don't mind, kind of getting lost into it. And the other thing, all right, the other P is purpose. All right, don't mind my handwriting. We're working on it. But purpose, all right, it's very hard to, I would say, it's very hard because you kind of got to like look inside to kind of find what is your actual purpose, and it's something that's it's deeper than it sounds. And like I said, you guys are at a young age where you're still trying to find your purpose. Like, why am I here? Or what do I see myself doing that benefits people beyond me? And that's something that I really, really encourage everyone, all of you to kind of like look inward and think, like how can I be of service to someone else, beyond myself? Make sense? And the last one is paycheck. All right. Now, what you want to do is find your passion, find your purpose, and turn it into a paycheck. All right. So now with me going to UAlbany, I met a whole bunch of cool people, a whole bunch of communication graduates. But I ended up finding the radio station, and that was basically me finding my passion and my purpose all in one. I ended up doing the radio for about, I'm like 7 or 8 years into the radio, and I've never gotten paid a cent to do it, but I always loved to do it because, I love promoting people's music and interviewing people as well. So from there, it kind of trickled into me realizing, okay, well, I could get all these people into the studio. Well, let me do a showcase, and basically do a show and put artists on. So from there, I ended up doing my first show in 2018 in Albany, New York. And from 2018 to about 2020, I guess, that's where, you know, the pandemic happened and everything else. But I did 15 showcases and promoting, you know, upcoming artists within the area, bringing my friends up from Brooklyn to perform and stuff like that. So, you know, giving people opportunities. So I had a platform and kind of sharing my platform with everybody else. And that kind of led into basically what I have now is my nonprofit. So the nonprofit is called More Music, Less Violence. And it's a community concert series that I do where I book artists to perform of all different kinds. Not just, when I say artists, like I book painters as well. I book poets. And the show is kind of wrapped around basically positivity and like healing. That's basically where we kind of want to go with it. You know, it's kind of self-explanatory, more music, less violence, but to really break it down is bringing the community together in a positive space and for everyone to basically have freedom of expression. But when I say freedom of expression, it's in respect of like there's no cursing, but it's also open up to, you know, all ages. So the youngest I've ever had perform was 8-year-old. And the oldest person I've ever had perform was a 64-year-old. And they are super, super talented. Each person that's on these lineups are super, super talented. I encourage you one day to come to a show as well. Yeah, so, you know, with that being said, More Music, Less Violence kind of stemmed from me being a DJ and, you know, finding that passion and purpose. And even though it's a community-based organization, you know, money has to be made. I try to pay all the artists as well, you know, that I work with. So at the end of the day, money has to come from somewhere, you know. And that's like I said, that's the final thing where, you know, figure out what you love to do and figure out how you can make it a service to someone. And then from there, that's kind of where the money will come in. Another thing, you guys are young, you got all the resources out there. You got a really, really good mentor. And Gina's, you know, kind of really putting you guys basically putting your opportunities right in front of you and your options right in front of you. So like I said, don't take any of it for granted and really like look inward in what do you know, like what makes you happy and what do you enjoy doing genuinely, because you can start something and lose and basically get burned out from a year or two in and you're like, yo, like I generally don't like doing this. You know, I thought I liked doing it and that's okay too, you know, and trying new things. And you know, Gina brought in today and yesterday, you had so many different options of, you know, people. But those options are good to have and to know because there are people out there who have no idea of all the positions you guys probably, you know, encountered in the past 2 days. So, yeah, look very, very inward and what do you really, really, really like to do and something that you can see yourself doing, you know, for the rest of your,
Sorry.
it's okay. I'm used to the bright lights, so I'm joking. Yeah, but look very inward in, you know, things that you like to do. And another thing is, crazy enough to say, but, you know, when you generally feel that, you know, you're good at something or you're passionate about something, stick with it and don't let people kind of talk you out of it. It took my mom about 3 years to really realize like, oh, my son's a DJ, you know, and she didn't like that at first. She was like, are you really getting paid money to like play music? And eventually she see my Facebook and she's like, oh crap, like people are commenting and showing you love. And one day she called me up. She was like, hey, Mr. Hollywood. And that was kind of the moment for me when I realized like, oh crap, like my mom kind of gets it now, you know? And yeah, and I say that because, you know, people are never going to see your vision and where you want to go. It's very hard to explain that to someone, you know? But seeing is believing. Do you have the second, there was like a picture that I sent you too. It was right after this. It should be right behind that other email.
And the second one?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the picture I'm actually going to show you is a picture of, let me make sure I sent it, is a picture of Taylor Swift. And the picture of Taylor Swift is actually, hold on, let me make sure I sent it. Yeah, I did send it, 2:20.
I only got the clip. 2:20.
Yeah, that's the time I sent it.
Gina at Get Local.
Yep. Get local 518.biz. refresh maybe. But yeah, so basically it's a picture of Taylor Swift performing in front of about 20 people. And then the second follow-up picture is her performing in a crowd of, she's basically performing in a stadium, And the thing about it is never, or maybe it went in your spam. I don't know. I don't see why it would though.
No, I only got the clip.
All right. Well, anyways, so yeah, like I said, I'm describing a picture. So it's basically Taylor Swift in front of a crowd of 20 or less people, and then the other picture under is basically her in front of a stadium of people. And
It went into my junk.
okay, yeah, I figured. Yeah, so this is basically the picture. Literally, you see it right here, Taylor Swift, and then she ended up here. So that's the thing. If Taylor Swift was at this position right here, trying to explain to people that she was trying to get here, who would actually believe that? And I say all that to say that basically this past weekend, I basically almost had my Taylor Swift moment where, I ended up in front of a crowd of 10,000 people in Schenectady, New York. And it was an amazing experience. But the thing about it is, of course, that's the cool part about it. But at the same time, it's about, being able to, express myself through music and connect with people. So on that note, do you have the video?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so this was a summer night in Schenectady last Saturday. This is my guy DJ Ketchup. We both got to basically open up for a Grammy-nominated hip-hop group. And yeah, that was basically the moment, not the moment, but a moment, And imagine me trying to explain that to my mom. I actually sent it to her after, and she was like, oh my God. She was like, yo, it's so many people. And she was kind of blown away by it. But yeah, like I said, imagine me trying to explain that to my mom 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that, I want to have this moment, She wouldn't get it. So like I say, go with your gut and go with your passion and your purpose, and then turn it into a paycheck. So I know you guys started the day locked in, so I hope you are still locked in with me. And yeah, that's my time, and I hope y'all take what I said, and much success to y'all. And yeah, I got some stickers for y'all too to keep up with me. Instagram, TikTok, whatever, Facebook, whatever it is. If you guys have any questions as well, I'm very reachable. The name is DJ Hollywood, but I'm not Hollywood at all. But yeah, I appreciate your time, and thank you, Gina, again, and appreciate y'all.
And I just want to add something real quick just before you guys get ready to pack up or ask questions. Just like DJ Hollywood said about the locked in stuff, that he met Billy the same way that we all meet each other, and that's through networking, and that's through being at these events and going to things and making these connections. So now it becomes a community. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing all these guest speakers is not to just, have somebody say their experience and then for you to never follow up or follow through or reach back out or anything again. Like that one connection, that one day that they have made, that I have made, that we have all made, like look at how many people are here for you. Okay? And that is just through me, right?
Right.
So imagine just the potential for this experience for you, but also when you're meeting people and you're talking to people, you never know when you're going to meet them again, what experiences they can open up for you as well. So just take that all in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Take everything in. I know it's been a long 2 days, but take everything in, take all these experiences, reach out, ask for mentors, and just be present in all of this, okay?
Yep.
Your experience with me, your experience in life, I'm always going to be here for you, but make sure you are present in that moment, okay? Any questions for DJ Hollywood?
Any questions? I won't be mad if it's a no.
I got no questions? Not even about anything personal? Anything
Personal, you took it there. Relax, no, I'm
how
joking.
you